So, you think you've mastered Hardcore Classic? You little rascal, you. You stared Deathwing's ancestors in the face, danced on Hoggar's corpse, and told Cthulhu to crawl back into whatever cosmic eyeball dimension he came from? You did the impossible. You survived vanilla hardcore. You beat the tutorial level of masochism. And now you want more. You want the burning crusade hardcore. Oh, of course you do. This is the expansion where everything hits harder, lives longer, patrols more aggressively, and seems personally offended by your existence. Blizzard once said they'd never do TBC Hardcore. But you know what they also said? You think you want it, but you don't. History suggests they underestimate our capacity for suffering. Because naturally, the community looked at TBC, already notorious for its difficulty, and said, yes, but what if dying deleted your character? And thus, quietly, patiently, the TBC Hardcore add-on sits in the shadows, waiting for the Anniversary Realms to go live so it can ruin lives with perfect mechanical indifference. Let's be honest, from the start, this is a terrible idea. Leveling from 60 to 70 alone is a psychological endurance test. Those 10 levels require roughly the same XP as the entire 1 to 60 journey. Sure, the pacing is tighter, the questing more streamlined, fewer kobolds hoarding candles, yeah, you know the gist. But the mobs in Outland, they're built different. These creatures are on protein shakes and fel-infused pre-workout. Even the boars look like they bench press. And if you die, back to level 1. Not back to your corpse, not res sickness, full deletion. Enjoy redoing Hellfire Peninsula again. Watching Fell Reavers one-shot fresh 60s like it's part of their morning cardio routine. And that's just the beginning. Dungeons in TBC Hardcore aren't content, they're ultimatums. One missed interrupt, wipe. One bad pull, wipe. One leg spike during Sonic Boom, character erased, thanks for playing. Shadow Labyrinth doesn't forgive, Alcatraz doesn't forget. Shattered Halls doesn't care how confident you felt walking in. These places were designed with when heroic actually meant something, and hardcore tunes that dial past reasonable and it snaps it clean off. You'll need a god tier comp just to make progress. Tanks who know threat like muscle memory, healers who don't panic, DPSs who understand that surviving is better than parsing. And yet, somehow, everyone will still roll rogues. I don't know what's wrong with these people, and then everyone is wondering why no one can tank or heal. Well, you wait for hours for a group, only to run Blood Furnace again because nobody wants to gamble their character on something spicy. Heroics. That's where the real brain damage begins. Crowd control isn't optional, it's law. Miss a sap, forget a sheep, mistime a trap, and the dungeon ends right there. There's no recovery arc, no clutch save montage, just a clean, clinical deletion and a long stare at the character select screen. Raiding, of course, it's the final form of this madness. TBC raids are longer than classics, tighter mechanically, and far less forgiving. Gruul doesn't care how clean your run has been, he'll slap you through a wall anyway. Magtardon's cubes will always miss a click, always. Kael'thas will look at your perfect attempt and introduce you to phase transitions designed by a sadist. And yet, somehow, people will do it. But here's where TBC Hardcore truly separates itself from vanilla. The danger isn't just bosses and mobs, it's the systems. Start with profession. TBC Hardcore profession stop being about gold or optimization and start being about survival. Engineering isn't a DPS boost, it's a panic button. Target townies that buy you 3 seconds maybe, grenades that interrupt just long enough to run, parachutes that turn certain death into a near heart attack, You level it thinking you might never need it, and then one day it saves your character by half a second and becomes the best decision you ever made. And first aid? Mandatory. Full stop. Isn't vanilla where bandages are flavor? No. No bandages means more drinking. More drinking means more downtime. And more downtime means patrols are gonna find you, because TBC is obsessed with patrols. Outland isn't static. Mobs don't politely wait to be pulled. They walk, they loop, they return precisely when you've engaged something else. Hellfire Peninsula alone feels like a case study in time and punishment. You'll clear an area, feel safe, pull one more mob, and suddenly the welcoming committee comes back from lunch. Patrols don't aggro you fast, they aggro you eventually. And sometimes the mobs don't even get the kill, sometimes the world does. TBC zones have a special talent for passive murder. Fell lava, poison clouds, knockbacks placed suspiciously near cliffs. Terrain that looks like solid but it isn't. You won't always die because you made a bad pull. Sometimes you'll die because you trusted the ground, stepped half a yard too far, or underestimated gravity. Which brings us to flying mounts, the greatest quality of life feature ever added to WoW, and the funniest hardcore execution method imaginable. Lag while mounting, deleted. Disconnect mid-air, gone. Accidental dismount, gravity sends its regards. Blade's Edge Mountain isn't a zone, it's a stress test. Netherstorm is a floating anxiety simulator. And at some point, every TBC hardcore player will hover in the air and think, if my internet blinks, this character is finished. That thought never leaves you. Escort quests, they don't help either. If vanilla escorts were annoying, TBC escorts are actively suicidal. Better to avoid them. These NPCs though do not wait, they do not pause, they do not respect patrols, they sprint forward like they're late for something important, pulling half the zone and daring you to keep up. They path through elite areas, stop in the worst possible spots, and fight with the confidence of someone who does not understand permadeath. And you'll do them, because XP is good, because you need a quest, because hardcore players are incapable of learning. That's the deal. That's the real truth of TBC Hardcore. It isn't just harder numbers, it's layers of risk, stacked on top of each other. Combat risk, environmental risk, social risk, systemic risk, death by mobs, by gravity, by lead, by an NPC with poor pathing. It's stupid, it's sadistic, it's completely unreasonable, and it's incredible. Because if vanilla hardcore was about survival, TBC hardcore is about discipline, about mastering content that already demands precision, and then playing it knowing that one mistake ends everything. It's about proving that you're not just another tourist in Outland, you're the lunatic who looked at Fell River and thought, yeah, I can take that. People said hardcore would never work in vanilla. Then people cleared necks. So don't be surprised when absolute maniacs start clearing Karazhan without a single death, whispering don't pull extra while their priest's hand shakes over powered shield. And inevitably, someone will ask the reasonable question. If people clearly want TBC hardcore, why doesn't Blizzard just do it? On the surface, it does seem strange. The game already exists, the content is finished. This is the third time Classic has gone around the sun. Nobody asking for new zones, new bosses, or revolutionary tech. Hardcore already works, the add-on already enforces the rules. From the outside, it looks like flipping a switch and letting the community ruin itself in peace. So what's the problem? It's not really cost, or at least not in the way people usually mean it. Servers aren't the issue. Blizzard already runs hardcore realms. They already run classic realms. They already recycle infrastructure like it's a core design pillar. Nobody seriously believes TBC Hardcore would bankrupt a multi-billion-dollar company. This isn't about hardware. It's about liability. Not legal liability, but design liability. bear with me please, because the moment Blizzard officially supports hardcore in TBC, it stops being a community experiment and becomes a promise. And TBC is not built for promises. I mean, vanilla hardcore works because vanilla is messy, slow, and oddly forgiving in its chaos. TBC is precise, tuned, full of mechanics that assume death is a learning tool, not a terminal condition. When someone dies in TBC Hardcore, it's often not because they played badly, it's because the game did exactly what it was designed to do. Random knockbacks, mid-air disconnects, escort NPCs with Death Wish, as I said before, patrols time to return exactly when you pull, that stuff. When hardcore is unofficial, players accept this. When it's official, every one of those deaths becomes a Blizzard's problem, you know? Suddenly, it's not you chose this rule set, it's Blizzard made a game mode where lag deletes your character. You know what I mean? That's not a great look. There's also the support nightmare. Hardcore players don't ask for appeals until it's official. Then every disconnect, every server hiccup, and physics bug turns into a ticket. The add-on can say no appeals because it's faceless. Blizzard can't. Official hardcore implies fairness, consistency, and accountability. TBC Hardcore offers none of those things by design. So Blizzard does what Blizzard does best. They don't say yes, they don't say no, and they let the community do it anyway. Through add-ons, through self-imposed rules, through whispered legends of characters that made it further than they ever should have. It's cleaner, it's safer, and it lets hardcore remain what it's always been at its best. Slightly unhinged, unofficial, and proudly unreasonable. And honestly, that's fine. Because hardcore was never about perfection. I've never made it past level 20 without dying. I don't have the emotional stability, mechanical discipline, or general life organization to pretend I'm built for endgame hardcore, let alone raiding it. I make mistakes constantly. I live with them daily. Some of them are still physically present, and my housing belonged to an ex who never came back to pick up their stuff, but I get the appeal. The tension, the stakes, the community, the quiet respect for anyone who survives longer than they ever could. Or ever should, I mean. And that's why TBC Hardcore will happen, official or not. Is it a bad idea? Absolutely. Is it masochism with extra steps? Without question. But that's the appeal, because in the end, it's not about winning. It's about surviving, about discipline, about seeing how far you can push before the game finally says no. And maybe, just maybe, proving Blizzard wrong. Because we do want it, we do like it, and we'll damn sure die trying to prove it. Well, that was all I had for today, guys. Thanks for sticking till the end in this half rant thing, I don't know. If you want, please like and subscribe to the channel. If you don't, that's okay as well. I'm just happy you watched it. So anyway, thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Bye!